Oh, hi, Ryan.
Hey, how's it going?
So good. How are you?
Awesome. Doing good.
Fantastic. All right. I think we've got a crew that's here and Jonas. So the only ones we're missing is Brooke. She is in a very warm climate. Dave Finnegan is sick. Troy Groutman is sick. Can you text Sheree? Yep. Tell her she needs to get on. She'll be coming in on. Maybe she's coming in her Jeep. Okay, let's get started, everybody. Guys, happy 2023. It's our first meeting. Woohoo! Here we go. All right, before we get into our agenda, tell me what you're feeling out there. What's the market see? What's the market doing?
It's crazy. It is crazy.
Crazy household.
Multiple offers. Yeah, like showing at 12:30 because we lost out on 2 offers. So now we're going on Tuesdays rather than waiting until Saturdays.
Yeah, what price range?
They are 400. So anything under the 450, because like Krista also has a buyer. They lost out on a 400. There was 7 offers, 30 showings in 2 days. So yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's
Are you coming in under?
Yep.
No. No, in fact, so the one Crystal lost out on, they went 10 over. Don't know obviously what the price was, but she said the agent said they're covering appraisal gap. I'm like, appraisal gap?
Where was that house?
What's that?
Where was that house at? What location?
Maple Grove.
What price point?
400.
It was at 389, and we know we think it probably went 425 or over. Probably if they're doing appraisal gap again. So yeah, anything under 400 is just, and buyers are coming out, and yeah, so I put my townhome in Prior Lake. Sorry, I'm still winded from the stairs. I haven't had time to work out. So Prior Lake, we went on 305, and they've been selling about the 280 in there, like the past 3 or 4 months before January. And so I was like, oh, they really wanted 3. There was one at 3069 that had been on for 60 days, went under contract last week. We went on Friday, and we have multiples coming in. So
Wow.
yeah. So I'm gonna say my open house postcards I meant to get out, those are now going out to. We have 3 more buyers who wants to sell. So yeah.
Awesome.
That's what's going on in
That's what's going on in your world. Anybody else? Anybody else feeling anything differently?
Happening.
A lot more calls, a lot more people.
A lot more interest, at least.
The open houses. So I did do an open house on the townhome on Sunday. I think I had, and granted, I do 1:30 to 3:30. So 2:45, everything shut down because they're all.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? Not that I remember that.
But I think we had 12 groups through. And from that open house is how I'm getting 3 of the offers, because agents were either out of town or had kids' activities. So I do encourage those open houses.
And Chris, you've converted some leads from the leads program.
Many.
Tell me, what's your most recent ones? Like just tell us some experiences that you're having with them, because it's good for us to know.
So met with 2 last week, signed them, writing offers.
Okay. On the buy side, so through Rise.
Yep.
Okay.
I have one with the parents from hell.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll
They
get.
know best. You'll figure it
Oh.
out.
There's a problem. They live in Iowa. So they're. Our market is just like Iowa. Oh my gosh. I have 2 buyer consults this week. I mean, the leads that are coming in are really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
And
72 sold. I have 3 listing appointments this week.
good. You did do the 72
I
sold.
did.
They're hammered.
You know?
Are you
Love.
doing the paid ad, like, or the commercial ad?
I did.
Nice.
Are they quality
Yep.
leads?
I have an interesting one tomorrow.
yeah.
Okay.
House in Uptown. I gotta tell you this because I'm like, what would you do? Had never been on the market. Guy bought it in 2019.
Okay.
Was gonna rehab it and live there. Got, you can, the pictures, it's currently listed, but he doesn't like the agent. Ripped the thing apart, got all new stuff and died.
And died? Okay.
So it's his
Sure.
brother.
I came across so fast.
So it's torn to shreds.
Okay. What a great opportunity.
Oh, so I have that listing appointment tomorrow. I'm super excited.
What price point range?
It's priced at 3. The neighborhood is 370.
Okay, I have a couple of investors that probably would want to see it.
I already reached out to my brother. I'm like, look at this one. You want to buy it? Yeah, all the things are there, but it's very weird circumstance. And the brother is D. ISC. I'm I. I'm gonna have so much fun.
You're gonna have to take it down a notch and bring it.
I've already practiced.
Good job. Good job.
Data.
Yep, move
I'm a data.
All right, so what I'm hearing that you guys are in activity.
Oh, it's an open house, as like Wendy said. You want buyers? Hold an open house.
Okay. Good, because it may not be the same story in everyone on the screen, and it's happening. It is happening. So are you doing anything differently than you could? Can you pinpoint anything that you may have that you could attribute to your activity right now?
No, it's weird because I'm so heavy buy side right now, and I'm always so heavy list side. So a part of me is like, this is killing me because I so want to be reaching out for those listings
Yeah.
and working my listing, but it's like, I don't have time with, no, and it's just timing for these buyers. Maybe I reached out like in December to a lot of them because that was when we were starting to see that chill a little
It's
bit.
bold.
And
Oh,
hold.
yeah.
I seriously
I
got
think-
back into lead
Yeah,
gen.
Okay,
yeah,
And I was like, pop, 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 pop.
good,
yeah.
good.
So-
Well, that's good to hear. Anything on the screen, guys? Ryan, Jonas, Cherie, Jim, are you seeing anything? I got commercial updates for you, Jim. But are you guys seeing anything within your activity or anything that's different than what you've heard?
Well, I'm seeing lots of showing activity, so we know the market's up. We're getting offers on our stuff, 20,000 on our list, and then countering and not getting responses. So pricing matters, obviously, and we're talking, from 485 down to mid to upper threes. Lots of activity, but nothing. And the hard thing is feedback from agents is like, seems to be priced really well. Like maybe the low market. Well, it's not low market, it's not selling. So
Right.
it's interesting. I think finding the sweet spot in the pricing has been the challenge right now.
Are you guys finding that listings are a little bit less eager right now? Are you guys having a difficult time with motivated sellers?
I must be really fortunate on the commercial side. I'm busier now than I was last year. And I got 3 people I got to get back to. They said, yeah, let's list it. I just got to get the contracts done and get it out to them. It's a good problem to have, but
Yeah.
I would say I have 2 listings that'll be coming up in the next 2 to 3 months. And I know one of them, they were gonna probably wait till late spring, early summer. And now I've told them, I was like, we're hot right now, and it literally has changed in a week, so I don't know when it's gonna change again.
Yeah.
So I would advise you to, let's go on.
Yeah.
See what we can get.
I showed 11 houses in one day, and I sent back very, I've always been very passionate about feedback and giving it, because receiving it's really important as well.
Right.
And I received phone calls, texts, and emails directly from agents thanking me for the level of detail that I went to, and like sharing information about other properties that are being, like, I think is in this market, because there's seemingly a lot of uncertainty. I think the more we can lean into the business, provide information, share if you're showing houses, you have feedback, or if you're a listing agent, call every buyer agent and ask, what would it take for your buyer to write an offer? Because I think feedback is what's going to get us, help us with our client relationships, because that's what all these agents were saying to me, like, nobody gives me feedback. Nobody has anything helpful to say. They all say price is fine, but they aren't writing an offer. So like I gave specific information on every single one as to what was said. And I explained what other houses they saw that they liked better and why they liked them better. Because we all know as listing agents that like that's valuable information. What else are we being compared against?
Yeah.
Because we don't always know. It's not the house in the neighborhood. It might be a house in Minnetonka when your listing's in Eden Prairie. Like you never know. The other thing I was going to say was, interestingly enough, different markets are experiencing different things, it seems like, because there was a listing at 1,075,000, got multiple offers, sold over 1.1. They posted online that they were in multiple offers, and final offers were going to be reviewed 2 days later. Everybody canceled their showing. So it was really interesting. I don't think the buying public is interested in multiple offers, but if they by happenstance get involved in it, there is seemingly enough demand in some markets that
They'll stick with it.
They are coming in, but it's not like an enticing thing anymore to be like, we're in multiples, bring your best and final offer in a couple of days. Because they ended up only having the original ones that came in and everyone else canceled their showing. I thought that was a really interesting shift in what we've seen over the last couple of years. Normally it's like everyone jump on it. They just cancel. They're like, we'll just look at something else. Not that there's lots of
I was gonna say,
options.
a lot of options.
But
No, but
they
they
do
might be
know
just
that they
avoiding
want to
it, yeah.
avoid multiple.
They don't want to play.
Yeah.
So that is an indication of buyer fatigue that we've
Yeah.
seen for this last, however long it's
Or
been.
even agent fatigue.
It might just be that highest and best, not tactic, the highest and best tactic. Let's sit on this may not be in the best interest of the seller right now.
Right.
Yeah, I actually had an agent ask me going into this one at the townhome. He's like, okay, are you gonna call for highest and best? And then we wait 2 days. I said, no. If we call for highest and best, it's gonna be at 5 o'clock tomorrow and it will be decided that night. Another thing I've done with buyers, I'm also looking at the TNAS besides active and coming soon.
Yeah.
And I've been able to get in. We got into one house last week. Due to that, it didn't work out, but we have been able to get more listings. And now with another couple, that agent's gonna let me know the minute they do go active again.
You got
So,
into a TNAS?
yeah,
You mean they marked it active? And
they marked it
They might
active.
sit active. We came in and
Market long enough for the showing to be scheduled and the showing to happen and go back on TNAS.
Yeah.
That's an option. The other thing I was gonna say was, not all agents
I do.
have access to information about how much the market has shifted. And some people might think that the market is like how it used to be. And so being open-minded to the idea that we're probably in a more informed group of agents versus some of the other options out there. And I personally am not going to use wording like highest and best. I'm probably going to say, please submit your final offer, because it's not about necessarily talking about like a competition, but like we will be reviewing offers. If you'd like to submit an offer, go ahead. So making the language a little bit more gentle instead of more like sellers are winning, give it your best.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck, warrior.
Yeah, because our agents are tired. Agents are tired. They're tired of hearing it. Now here's where I went to when I heard you guys talking, and I thought, what a great opportunity for you guys to like come together as agents and make deals happen. Just simply by giving feedback.
Absolutely.
Because who are they going to want to turn to the next time? Like if they see an offer that comes through, and Corey did a great job at doing feedback on one of their other listings, they're gonna be like, let's work with
He's
this
a great
guy.
communicator.
Yeah, this will go smooth if we do this. So it's one thing to do. Ryan, were you gonna say something? I saw you lean in and I don't know.
No, I'd piggyback off what everybody said, but no, nothing in particular.
Okay. Cherie, anything to add? I don't want to leave you guys out on the screens. You're good?
I'm here. I was planning on coming in, but I have an assistant today. So
Good.
pray for health. Goodness gracious.
No, it's going around. Finnegan is their sickness, but anyway.
Oh my gosh, not again.
So, all right. So here's the moral of the story. Activity is happening. And if it's not happening in your world, it just means that right now, I think we just have to keep going to the well, and it will focus on the activities. The results will show up. I was coaching with someone yesterday and they were saying how they've got all these things in the pipe and just people aren't doing things right now. And we laughed because we were like, well, you can't push rope. So you just have to go find other people. And then all of a sudden, like, can you imagine what the end of your first quarter is going to be like? So,
And stay in touch.
yeah, and that's hard for some of us because we're like either go or get off the pot. And yet it's actually a relationship game. We're just learning how to be deeper in relationship with people. Was that my outside voice? It was. So the book for this year, guys, and the reason that I didn't bring it in this time is because I want to make sure that we want to read it. Some of us might want to read it and some of us might want to do Audible. And so, this is what we're going to be studying this year as we charge through the shift. In volatile times, it is hard to sell. It seems like every company is on a spending freeze, cutting back, pushing off, making decisions. Buyers become scarce. The competition for a few that are still out there is fierce. People don't want to meet you. Objections are harsher. Customers cancel orders, contracts on a whim, and pressure you for price decreases. Yet, you are still under the same pressure to make your sales number. If you don't, your income will take a hit. Don't even mention the 401k that you're afraid to even look at if the markets are in free fall. In this situation, it's natural to feel stressed out and feel demotivated. In this book, Jeb Blount delivers essential blueprints for staying motivated, keeping your pipeline full, increasing sales, retaining your customers, and advancing your career in times of uncertainty and change. In this classic no-nonsense style, he will give us 55 easy-to-consume tips, techniques, tactics, and time-tested, proven ways to help us stay on top when everything and everyone else seems down. You'll discover the real secrets to selling more in a crisis, the difference between rainmakers and rain barrels, and how to find opportunity in adversity, why you must stop swimming naked and put your bathing suit on, why you don't get into buckets with crabs, how to be a right now sales professional, the 7 steps to effective prospecting sequences and how to be professionally persistent, how to adjust sales messaging to meet the market of the moment, frogs, squirrels, and horses. I like that chapter. And Sutton's Law and why you must go where the money is, why you need more than charm and a great personality to close sales in a crisis, the 5 questions that you must answer in an affirmative way, how to handle buying commitment objections, how to protect your turf when competitors and your profits are pricing decreases, 5 ways to protect and advance your career, how to be bold and always trust your cape, and so much more. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. This is exactly what you'll learn to do in this indispensable guide for sales professionals who are navigating the rough seas of volatility. Each chapter, you'll find motivation, inspiration, and confidence. You'll catch the wave to rise above negativity. You'll take control of your life, career, mindset, and income. Good? Will this be a good one?
Jeff Blount is amazing.
Okay,
His book,
so-
Sales EQ, is the best book I've ever read on sales.
So it's called Selling in a Crisis.
I just bought it.
If you want it in a hard copy, let me know. If you want it in an Audible, let me know so that I can have Beth order which format you prefer.
Has anyone else ever read Jeb Blount? Fanatical Prospecting, Sales EQ is so good.
He's good.
It's seriously, when I was coaching for a team across the street that we shall not name, I bought 15 of the books and gave them out. It's that good.
So, can you guys put in the chat, do you want Audible or do you want hard copy? And who in the room wants a hard copy? Okay, Beth, can you count up? We got, how many hard copies do we need?
Jonas wants a hard copy.
I don't care on this.
Dawn, are you the only one that want a hard copy?
Yeah, Dawn wants Audible.
So 8 hard copies here in the office.
Jim will take Audible.
Okay. So Jim, Cherie, Dawn, and Jared, they'll take Audibles. Okay. And the rest of us will take hard copies. I already have one. You don't need to order one for me.
Okay.
You want an Audible?
Jim, Dawn, Cherie, and Jared.
Yeah. Jen, Dawn, Cherie, and Jared. All right, we've already kind of done our goals, and yet I just want to go around the room. Have you guys done the 20, 30, 30, 20? If you've been in coaching with me, you've done it, but have you guys done the 20, 30, 30, 20 with your number yet? No. Okay. Take your number of units sold that you want for the year. Units sold that you want for the year. Somebody's calling me from Pennsylvania. It's a referral. Then changed the, when Jared calls him, he changed it from Jared to money phone. So he picks it up every time Jared. Okay, take your number and then multiply it by 20%. So if anybody needs a calculator, showed it out. But we're really doing it.
We're mathing.
You want me to do it on my phone, Wendy?
No, I just had to pick my number. It's on that little behind on.
Great. All right, so you got your number, that 20% number. That is the number to hit at Q1 in order to keep yourself on track for your goal. Okay. Does anybody want to shout out a number for their Q1?
10, 8.
10, 8, 8.
6.
Okay. When you guys see these numbers, what are your thoughts? Okay.
Got it. Doable.
Okay.
Let's go.
Slow. Okay. This helps us wrap our brain around what we need to do right now to help us achieve our Q1. Now, not everyone is going to hit this trend. And in fact, my Q4 typically in sales, my Q4 was higher than my Q3 in closings, just was. However, this helps keep you focused on what you can do right now. So 20% is Q1, 30% is Q2, 30% is Q3, 20% is Q4. It's working off of the 12-week year, and it's what I learned when we did mass coaching. That's what we coach to. So 20, 30, 30, 20. It helps you go from your goal of 42 to 9. And you're like, well, I can hit 9. Okay, I might not be able to have, because then you take your 9 and you divide that by 3. Well, I might not have 3 closings by the end of January. It's January 17th. I may not have that, but I can certainly get 3 written. See what I mean? How you can just adjust those levers. So it's called goal setting to the now. All right. Let's go through our financials. Now, typically, have you had a chance to talk with Ryan and Corey? Okay, good. This is good. So typically what we'll do is when we read through these numbers, the finance committee will have had the opportunity to review them prior and then be able to decipher them for us as we read them through to everybody. And so because it's our first meeting, I'm going to go ahead and read those. So if you look at our recruiting numbers and this will always be for the month previous. So in our recruiting numbers, we added 5 agents and we removed 2. Tiffany, Jared, Krista, Tara, and Brittany, we all added. Now of those 5, 1 was considered an R2. R2 means that they did 8 or more transactions. R1s are 0 to 7. It's a different way of gauging people than we used to. We used to do quarter caps, half caps, caps, megas. This is just a little bit different. The agents that we removed, Karam Mendez, she moved to Mexico. moved to Mexico, and then Tom Baker retired. So Tom Baker retired after having served us for as long as we've been around. He is one of our pillars, founding members, and chief embarkers of the commercial division. And so in a future upcoming meeting, we're going to honor him in his retirement. But he has hung up his gloves and he's taken out his golf clubs and he is hitting the courses. I adore that man. He also owns the Sportsman Shop and he's opening up another location in Maple Grove. Coon Rapids. Okay.
Like 3 times the summer.
Yeah. All right, so let's see now our productivity, that's the next box. So section 2 is productivity. And it talks about the numbers of agents that have written contracts and the numbers of agents that have taken a listing. Do we really have nobody cap in the month of December?
We have some in the quarter, but not in December.
All righty, and let me just make sure that I'm clear on this one. Do we have a percentage or is that the number, that 48?
That's the number.
Okay, so 48, can somebody read me figure out a calculation for me real quick? Can you take 48 and divide that by 214? 48 divided by 214?
22.4.
Yep. 22%?
22.4.
Okay, so our goal is to always have it above what number for us OGs? Anybody know the number that we always shoot for a percentage, productivity percentage number? 40. We have a 40% productivity number. We are going to be absolutely profitable, profit share, and not have any stresses. So the next one is our financial information. So our total GCI is 792,000. Of our closed volume was 32 million. Our paid on volume is 8 million. Our company dollar is 50,000. So what we want to always know, what we always want to take is our company dollar. We'd love it to be 10% of our GCI, of our total GCI. If we did that, we would have company dollar of about 79,000. Does that make sense to you guys where I'm looking? Total GC and then company dollar. Right now we're at about, what is that, 6%? Our grand operating expenses, that's everything before we bill back anything. Our other income is outside income that comes in via rent,
Broker admin fees.
broker commission fees, etc. All right, then that shows us our total KW approved costs, 49,000. We did not have a loss carried forward and we will not ever have a loss carried forward.
Like that, Jen.
That's not going to happen. Our profit share, $248. We paid down to a KW International, 14,000. That's our royalty. So our owner profit, 743. Accounts receivables. So this is agents that have not paid their bill. And this could be a timing issue. And this, in fact, with these particular ones, yes, timing issue.
Yes.
Okay. That goal is to be 0 every month.
Still pretty low.
Yep, just not 0. And it's, yeah, especially when it's a timing thing.
I'm looking at 214 agents, I guess that's
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 3 agents.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were times where I was literally hunting people down. And that does not happen. So thank you, Beth, for that. And our projected company dollar at the time that we ran this report for the month of January was 50,000. Do we have that from the huddle this morning where we're
I
at?
think we're at 48.
Okay.
So close.
All right. Any questions on growth, productivity percentage, or finances? This is what we'll do every single team ALC meeting. We talk about our numbers because when you all succeed, we as a market center succeed. And then we'll open it up and we'll talk about everything inside the market center. And then we'll go through our new business and our old business committee updates. So any questions so far? Good. All right. We're going to talk about some thinking of money. So Keller Williams International is increasing their fees for what we pay down to international headquarters. Used to be $25. Gary met with all the OPs, called them down to somewhere, Dallas. They went to Dallas. And he rolled it out and he said, I've been losing about, was it 25 million? On this. And so, so we're increasing it to $50, which then is a pass through for our agents. So Jared and I have been crunching numbers all over the holidays and figuring out what we need to do to make this work. I need to bring it to ALC because you guys are the keepers of our culture and everything flows through you all. And we mentioned this before, so there's two things. There's that tech fee increase and errors and emissions insurance, which when we got our errors and emissions insurance way back when, previous ALC, all you folks that were on it at that time, when we did our commission adjustments and we reduced all of our caps, we knew that we were going to have to increase our E&O. We knew that. So I'll tell you why. In the year of 2022, we had an overage of expenses to the tune of about $11,000 in our education/training fund. In our E&O insurance, we had an overage of $2,752. What were those overages? Well, we had some expenses for some lawsuits that we had to cover, and that happens. So that was that for the E&O. We also have our MCTT salary that goes through that training. Any of the events that we attend to goes through that training. Any of the events that we bring in for speakers goes through that training. So everything that goes up, including speaker fee, registration fees, hotels, flights, all of those things have all increased. So there you go. That's what we have to deal with as an ALC. Welcome. Here's what's happened is we knew that we were going to see all things rise as far as inflation costs, gas costs, eggs, everything's up. And so we have to do this in order to maintain fiscal responsibility and profit share for our agents. I don't like to do it. I don't ever want to do it. And so we thought, do we just trickle into it? A little bit here, a little bit there, what's best for the agents. And it's not going to happen until March. That's why we're having the conversation now. So instead of a monthly fee for the agent being $60, it's going to go to $95. Is that right?
I should have printed that.
That's the tech fee going from
All of it.
60 to 95.
No, your whole entire invoice, all of it.
So tech and.
Correct. No, E&O won't be charged until July. So E&O doesn't need to be, we aren't dealing with E&O right now. That's a one-time yearly fee.
Yeah, but so tech fee monthly is going from 60 to 95. 95.
Yes. 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 And then our insurance for E&O, we're at $375 for the year. And we need to go up to $400 for the year. So it's gonna be a $25 increase. I don't have markers.
You may write it. You may write it.
Yeah.
We're like,
I don't know.
still
You know
cheaper than
it's
others.
office.
It is, and I don't like to ever do it, but I guys, we went through and tried to skin it like everything we could.
Blame it on inflation. I mean, I'm dealing with that with the HOA fees right now.
Oh, baloney, those stupid fees.
Right? I mean, they're going to their
I'm just so like.
But they're, I mean,
The
seriously,
95,
they're
but
raising a lot.
And they're probably charging 500 for docs now.
I know.
Because they do so much work to
Yeah.
I'll write it.
press
out,
two
just to be
buttons and
clear.
email it.
And then we're
They have to pay for their
increasing $1
program.
for our internal training fee, because that one.
Oh,
that one
that's where I was
over-
missing. that.
It's such a ripoff.
Okay. Yeah. It's,
Yeah, can you break that?
Yep, I will
that's
break it
fine.
down.
Break down the office one again?
Yep.
I was like, that doesn't add up.
Yep, I will write it out. All right, so right now, thank you, Noah. Right now, we are at 25 to KWRI. That's going to 50. A year. Huh?
A month.
A month. Yep. And then we are currently at 35 here. And we're going to 45, that's right?
So KWRI went up 25. That's the big jump.
Yes.
That's the uncontrollable because that's what they've deemed it needs to go to.
Correct. Correct.
The office is only changing by $10.
Correct.
So
And
things like command and the support behind command, KWRI is determining that it's more expensive and they're increasing what they're drawing from us.
yes. Yep. Yep.
And was that also in preparation of losing agents too?
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't think about that.
Losing agents because of
The
shift.
market, because people are
Getting
quitting,
out of the business.
getting out of the
be.
business.
Subsidized basically for loss.
The future and a $25 amount to pay for the technology platform. Like, I don't, it's
it's cheap.
it's so little that I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I honestly think they started out too low, but it was such a challenging show when they started it that they just couldn't. And I gotta tell you, like, it's come miles and still does, but it's still a thing, guys, that we still have to take into consideration, because I know market's changing. Wallets are, having to pay more for eggs, like $9 for 18 eggs. It's crazy. Did you see those memes where they're gonna give out eggs as closing gifts?
Yeah. Or how about the meme that says eggs and toilet paper used to be so abundant, we used to throw it on.
That's funny.
As far as it rat people down with toilet paper.
And then for year, so 375 is our E&O. And that one, not until, when does it build? July. It'll go to 400.
Just out of curiosity, when was the last time we raised our broker admin commission?
Couple years ago.
Because we're at 450.
When we moved here.
Yeah, a couple years.
Because I'm just wondering if there's any opportunity to adjust that slightly to help absorb some of the monthly overall.
$4.99.
We looked at that. We did look at that. And then we wanted to remain competitive within our competition. So like,
Yeah, a lot of our competitors are up to 600 now.
Yeah.
I mean, I charge 500 on everything. I reviewed enough files. I see people charging,
Yeah.
$5 to $550 on average, and our competitors are as much as 600 sometimes. I'm just throwing the idea out because to me, I also see 95 as not competitive anymore with our competitors. So that's about what they charge for tech fees a month.
well, okay, that's good to know, because I actually been in dialogue with agents that I'm talking with them right now, and their monthly tech fee is $85. And then they have a review fee of $25 for anything. And then they have a compliance fee. So
Transaction fee.
they threw in a different fee on top of that. And so at the end of the day, it's actually more than the 95. It's just the way that they skin it. My concern with changing anything on the broker administrative commission to cover this is it's not full transparency then.
Mhm.
This is just full transparency. Like, this is all of the BAC stuff goes towards our legal compliance life, that house. This goes towards training and technology house.
And this won't start till March.
This will start in March. Yep.
And having spent 4 years at other brokers where they feed me to death. This to me is no big deal. We just need to explain why.
Yep. So. Any comments, concerns, ahas, or questions on the screen? Oh, Cherie's completely frozen.
I think this
Or
is,
just really still.
I think this is not necessarily gonna be met with warm, open arms.
Oh, of course not.
And I think that there's a lot of people that are gonna be struggling, and that's gonna be another struggle point, a pain point for them. So, I mean, I'm just saying it out loud, not that I'm necessarily concerned with it. But, I mean, I understand KWR, I went up 25. How crucial is it that we do all the $10 for the market center at the same time?
Well, that's the thing, is do we just do the
25?
do we do the 25 and ease our way into it? But I don't want to be the one that's nickel and diming everybody either, like having to come back. Because if you look at the business, I mean, we're funding, we're 11 over. So, so this was a conversation quite a bit.
Jen, in my opinion, I think this will probably remove some of the part-timers, the ones that aren't making money day to day and in the business. It will just move more to full-time people that are selling stuff. So in your numbers game of agents, it's going to reduce agents because, I've got one in my group too that's just like that. He goes, I don't sell enough to pay those fees.
Yep.
I had this conversation with one of my actually Jared, he's one of my new agents. And so I was talking with him and he's like, yeah, there's a lot of fees to get started. And I said, but one closing is going to take care of that. So I said, let's come up with your game plan of how we're going to get that first listing in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
So I think then helping him say, okay, what activities, just going down that lead gen conversation with him then. He didn't focus on that as much then. And I think the other thing, as Chris says, coming from other agencies or brokers, you could never get 100% of your check.
Yeah.
If people realize that they can get to that point where they're not paying the tech or the, what did we have? Advertising fees, the
4%
transaction
fee, the
fees.
2% marketing.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
So yes, you may have this for your monthly, but then if you're paying more for command, use it. Dive into it, and which I know is weird coming from me.
Yeah.
Noah, you'll be happy to know I set up 2 smart plans on my own.
Wow.
So, but yeah, there's so much that we can do on there. So I think it is relatively inexpensive compared to what the other ones out there. It's just, again,
And so
how
some
you
of
look at
those,
it.
some of those agents who have never been at a different brokerage,
Right.
though, I mean,
They won't have that perspective.
they don't have that
And
perspective.
they will,
And I
they
appreciate,
usually look for the less expensive options, because there are less expensive options out there that offer so much less, like they offer nothing.
Nothing,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And then I think you have to go back to our training.
Yep.
What are you gonna get?
yeah, and I
that
appreciate that,
brokerage.
your perspective on that, because
Yeah.
I believe that to be true, right? It's just, I agree. It's just like, that isn't gonna resonate. They're just looking at this as, oh my gosh, another, but budget wise, right? If you look at it from your budget standpoint, you just add that in. One question that I have is that, whatever decision we make, I think we have to communicate it early enough.
Exactly.
Like, it can't be like all of a sudden.
Guess what? Next week.
February.
Yeah, so at
28th, all of a sudden, we're like, yeah, in March 1st, we are going to, right? So we need to give people,
Can we get rid of the convenience fee?
The $5?
$5 convenience fee?
we can, if people stop using credit cards.
It's only
Yeah,
charged if it's credit
yeah,
card.
just
It's because credit card fees are so high.
Yeah.
So is $10,
The only thing that we're increasing from the market center is $10.
is that healthy enough? Or are we gonna be back here next year?
I think we ran numbers, Jared and I ran numbers, and we believe that that will be healthy enough. Yes. And we believe that the errors and emissions insurance, we may need to increase depending on how litigious life gets after this shift.
I promise to do my best to. You may not like it, but I'll save you money.
Even I would get rounded to 100, and I know that people aren't gonna like it. It's gonna affect the, what, R1s, is that what you call them?
Yep.
More. But like you always say, you want thoroughbreds. and
Right.
it's-
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
Growth Committee, I'll just get.
But I know it's numbers too. Like we want agents and chairs as well.
well, I want, and I don't want to, here's what I love about, so if you guys got to see Jared and I talking, well, we should be on the America's Funniest Videos, but we like literally have very good discussions. And sometimes they're interesting, not knockdown dragouts, but they're interesting. And so we talked about this and we talked about this and we talked about this, and we came to the decision that I think I'm hoping our agents trust that if we want our agent, it's always agent first, right? Like, so the only thing we do, the only reason we're doing this is because it has to be done. And I don't want to do it for fluff, to be really honest.
Well, so I started my brokerage and I had what,
Yeah.
$16,000
Yeah.
for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, $50 a month is nothing.
I don't-
And I understand like newer agents coming in, it's tough.
It's not necessarily newer. There's people that have been in the business for a while that don't do a ton, that it could very well be I'm gonna look elsewhere and look at my options. So it's not, I mean, I don't think we should just segment these newer or what, I mean, I think it's probably 50% of our population would look real hard at what are they spending and do they need to consider their options?
Yeah. And then once you look around, you're gonna understand that this is actually a pretty damn good deal. I mean, you're gonna get some free whatever, but there's a cost to that too.
For the value that we provide, I do believe it is still a good value. I just know it's different. I just know it's change. And any change that's not authored by us, typically we don't like. But I don't think we need to go above the 10. Yeah. I mean, I'm all
I even
for it.
get that if we really bring down that we've dropped our cap. I mean, I know a lot of other companies have dropped their cap, but a lot of our big competitors haven't, like they never cap out. So, I mean,
Yeah, we,
people are gonna go shop, but if they're gonna go to a really low discount, low fee brokerage, they get feed somewhere else if they actually do a transaction. So, I mean, it's a trade-off.
yeah, it's, we knew that when we reduced the cap that we might run into some challenges. We had hoped that it wouldn't, because we had hoped that the market wouldn't change like it did. And in fact, when Jared and I had sat down to do our budget for 2023, we had budgeted in for some additional opportunities that we were going to spend on. And we took all of that out. Like we've always run bare bones. We have not ever spent frivolously. And yet I had to go in particular with the commercial division. You know, I had intended on bringing somebody in that was going to be a salaried position. We can't do it. Gary was like, absolutely not. The market is down 30%. Why are you guys not spending 30% less? We're telling our agents to cut all their costs, and yet we aren't. And so I have to protect the profit share. We got to protect our company, but I don't think we need to go more than that. So let's talk about communication. Yes, we do need to get the word out there. And here's what happens within real estate offices. Telephone happens, right? So we just have to make sure that we know we might have people leave, but if this group feels like this is the right thing to do, understand you guys wear two hats, your agent and your owner, stakeholder. If it's the right thing to do for us as an organization, then I will feel very sad if people leave. And I think that the vision is, if we have a surplus, we give it back to everybody. We always do. If we can cut our cap, we cut it. If we can bring in KW wealth, we bring it in. If we can, whatever we can do as a leadership team, Jared and myself and you all, to make our agents' lives the absolute best, we will do it. But we have to have company to run.
There's just always gonna be people who don't see value, and that's okay.
That's okay. It's okay. It's sad.
I was gonna say, if $400 a year is gonna break them,
No, it's the $95 a month.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what I
not the
mean.
$25 a year increase, it's the $35 a month.
So
that-
there, so that's about 400.
But I'm just saying on a monthly basis.
You're getting extra.
I know, I know.
It's, and there is always a cost of doing business.
Of course.
I think
So-
I think a big messaging point on this is, this is the only decision we are making as a market center is $10. That's all we're talking about. Is $10 a month. We are not talking about the 25 that KWR increased it, 'cause that's no choice.
Well, it's
KWR.
just like with the rent, like it's a pass through. The
Yes.
rent increased, CAM increased.
It did.
So our office holders here, their rent increased. But it didn't increase because we made a profit off of it. It increased because the building increased.
Right.
So it's happening. Rents are going up, things are going up. And yeah.
I mean, I remember a team meeting when you were standing up here, I don't know, it was probably a year ago, where you're like, okay, guys, I'm gonna tell you, let's do a budget analysis here. What are the things you can shave off your budget
Yeah.
personally? What are the things,
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not like we haven't been communicating this to everyone, and
As long as they're listening.
No, it's true though. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Kathy. I
so
forgot
we're
about that.
right,
Yeah.
whatever, right. So everything's going up. It's just where we are. So let's do it. I mean, what are their
Well,
options?
it's gotta happen.
It's gotta happen, right?
They're gonna lose all of it. It's okay.
So I will have you come up to the team meeting.
No, what'll happen, so here's how we communicate it. So this is really good because for those that haven't served on the ALC, this is kind of the protocol. Is whenever we have decisions, I stop anybody from making the decision until I talk to you all. You guys do have the very first, you always will know things first. And it's because you're my people and we are in this together. And then what happens after that is we do put a communication out to the agents. As a team, we as your leadership team, all of us have made the decision together. It will be communicated out and then people are going to come up to you and ask questions. And that's just where you get to have that conversation of a high level business conversation with them to say, yeah, it kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. And I don't want to do it either. But the last time I checked, if I paid for Sync or if I paid for Top Producer or if I paid for any of the other companies, I would be paying $2,500 a month and my ad spend.
Yeah.
So while I know that it's a thing, you're going to have to listen to it. And then I would just ask that if you have agents that show concern, that you let me know and we can circle the wagons and love on them and tell
Can
them.
we shop the E&O insurance?
Yeah, we shop it every March.
With a budget of
3 to 4.
Mhm.
We're cheaper.
I do know, Remax went up to, Coldwell was $5.99. Remax just went up to $7.99.
Oh, gosh.
Are they making money on them too or not?
I don't think they're- I don't know.
How could they know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
And I don't want to take the opportunity away from agents because sometimes agents take that $375 or whatever it is and they do $500. And that's up to them. Like, they can do that. It's okay. And then you can do that for any additional costs if you can, that's fine. It doesn't matter to me. And we're still keeping the cap on our E&O. So after 28 transactions of an individual agent, that goes down to $225. And as a team, it goes down to,
Are you talking? Or
Broker admin.
you're talking about admin, you know.
I didn't know that happened.
how like
They all run
I was
together.
dealing with this for months.
Half the legal.
What about-
Strike that from the record.
Strike that from the record, Sarah. No,
So the
we still do cap our BIC. So like, we do genuinely want all of our agents to make money.
I didn't know that.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
A lot of these topics in this whole, with the $25 going up, the $10 with Market Center, and the $25 a year. And the influx of new agents and recruiting, I mean, there probably is a great opportunity for an overall value presentation of everything that we offer you know, kind of at a high level, or the big bucket items or something. Because I think, you know, just like we've talked about in previous, like ALC meetings are open to all agents. You know, like a revisit to our mission statement, our values, our value offering. I think a lot of agents could benefit from hearing it, all the way around.
It's like I paid you $20. And our next team meeting is gonna be our value team meeting. So all of you ALC members, please come to our next team meeting, which is January
Next week, 4th, next week, in 1 week.
January 24th. Because I want us to do kind of a speed dating type of an environment where agents can.
It's a trend.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
there you go.
If anybody knows anybody, that's a highly producing 50-year-old man-ish,
Plus.
has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, we're gonna do a committee, the speed dating, to join our committees. So coming to that team meeting with the vision that you have for your committee, the reason that you chose that committee to lead, and what your goals are for the committee, would be really important, because then we're gonna recruit to the committees.
What do you mean? I already recruited.
Oh, I'll speak, of course. Well, good, because I need to get involved again. But, so culture committee is Amber, Kathy, Troy, those three, right? That's the three. And Cherie. So we got 4 heavy hitters on our, you guys are gonna knock it out of the park. Culture committee. Okay. Our productivity, let's just go. Oh, how about I look at the notes? Our growth committee is Wendy Woodbury, Jeff, and Chris K. Now your liaison for the staff is Shelley or myself. Productivity committee, Jonas, Alexis, Brooke, and then Sarah is going to be your liaison. Shelley kind of is too, right?
Shelley is too.
Yeah, productivity. And then finance committee, Corey, Ryan, Beth is your person. And then culture committee, Amber, Kathy, Troy, Cherie, and Hannah, the front desk Hannah, awesome, is going to be your liaison person. Sarah will also help as well. Jim and Dave is the commercial, and Noah is your liaison.
So Jen, are we wrapping up at 12?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you have other stuff to talk about. There was something that came up in the productivity committee meeting this last week. We were talking about adding classes.
Yes.
And Brooke is not here, so I told her I would bring the topic of conversation, which was, she was asking if there would be an open discussion, maybe at the next ALC meeting, about having weekly team meetings, where we keep the format of the team meetings that we have. And then instead of us trying to create masterminds and like market data check-ins weekly, that we did it as an office as a whole. I'm just throwing it out there for us to at least have it in our heads that we've heard about it. So maybe we could talk about it in the future.
Okay.
But we were looking at adding like Monday masterminds where we have someone bring market data, like what's going on in the market. Let's talk about it. What are we seeing? Like this whole little mastermind that we started with.
Yeah.
But Brooke was really feeling like it'd be really great if this was like a market center initiative on the calendar every week. We had at the same time, because her comment was the best part of the meeting is always at the end, and it feels like it gets cut off, the content that she feels is most valuable. So she was wondering if we could add more meetings. And the idea of what we just generically talked about in the committee meeting was, could we add another one, the weeks we don't have it, and add more mastermind stuff and data review and what's going on in the market, and like wants and needs. And because she was saying it feels like there's so much to talk about in that 1 hour. Her other idea was, can we make it an hour-half team meeting every 2 weeks? Or because she's like, it feels like we have so much more stuff and a lot of people are interested in talking about more. So I'm just throwing it out there for you to hear. I told her I'd bring it, and that hopefully we could talk about it in the future.
Awesome. I agree. I had somebody reach out to me as an agent who was super concerned that we were doing less Zooming and more in person.
Yeah, that came up in that conversation too.
So we might need to take a look at that as well, to keep that option open for our folks, because we do have folks that travel an extensive amount of time to get here. And I don't want to diminish the energy that we have in the room. When I have 17 people in a workshop with me, that's fun. When you have 1 and 18 people on a screen,
Not fun.
that's not as fun. So that's a balance. It's a balance. All right, let's wrap it up, because okay. Next team meeting, guys, we're gonna have our ALC dating, and we're gonna talk about this at the team meeting first. We'll follow up with an email for those folks that aren't at the team meeting and open it up with questions. If any questions are there, to please see an ALC member. If you guys have anyone that calls you, you're gonna, then have the conversation with them and then let me know.
About the money.
Yep. If anyone's really upset.
Got it.
So
Too
when
bad,
is
so
that?
sad. Call me.
Done. Done. Yeah. That's have them call somebody, but 24th is the team meeting where we'll have ALC and we'll talk about fee increases.
Beautiful. Next week.
Correct, next Tuesday. 1 week from today. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for zooming in on the screen. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.